Here's the video review for the Marvel Legends Agent Venom, which is a Walgreens exclusive. Back to a little bit something more familiar tonight, just because I grabbed everything I needed to shoot this video except for my new camera on the way out the door today. Which is nice having this little portable, like the fact that this setup was so portable because it's always in my backpack, so I didn't have to wait a whole other couple of days to shoot this video. But anyway, it's Agent Venom. It is Flash Thompson with the symbiote. If you've been following the comics, like really kind of cool. I'm really enjoying this version of Venom, even more so than I ever did old Venom. I've always kind of liked Venom. I love the black costume. Spider-Man's black. I love when Spider-Man wears it. Just the face with the wide eyes and then the stark white spider on the solid black body. That aesthetic has always appealed to me. So seeing him be really cool on Flash, I'm really happy with his Venom. He comes in the standard Marvel Legends packaging. You've probably seen this on the shelf. All the Guardians figures come in it. The Spider-Man figures come in it. Nothing. I'm not going to harp on it, but just that's the package it looks like if you're looking at Walgreens. It's usually hanging on an end cap. Not the end of the aisle, but like on the end of each aisle, on each side of the aisle, there's some small little end cap areas, and that's where I found him with some Game of Thrones figures. So yeah, here's the figure itself, and it's got that standard Marvel Legends articulation. It's got the universal joint at the shoulder. It's got double hinged elbows, ball jointed neck at a couple places, universal hips. He does have a waist swivel, double hinged knees, and a little bit of an ankle tilt. It can go back, but not so much forward, just due to the armor and the boot and how that's designed. But all in all, a very nicely posable figure, although it can be a little bit of a pain to get him to stand at first. It's just a matter of getting all the joints to work in concert, and I don't know. There we go. But once you get all that done, mostly in the double-jointed knees. Like you keep having one joint off, and then it would not stick. But once you figure that out, it's actually not too hard to get him to stand. He comes with some symbiote tentacles, some nice little ooey symbiote tentacles, which can plug in right here on his back. There's a little hole right here in his back, and they just plug in, and you can orient them. I think they come in the package like at like a vertical angle, something like that, just because they won't fit sideways in the package. But we just plug in at the back here, and you can stick them however you want to. And that does add a little bit of weight to his back. Yeah, tilt him forward a little bit. He also comes with 4 pistols. Well, actually, 4 guns. He comes with 2 small pistols, which do fit in Black Widow's hands. A lot of people have been using them for that. So if you have a Black Widow from the Captain America line, you want to give her some guns, these are good for it. A little kind of submachine gun / Uzi looking gun. And then a larger pistol with a laser sight on it. He also has, as part of his gear sculpted onto him, this pistol in the holster at the side of his leg that does not come out. It's just sculpted on and painted, but that is not a separate gun, unfortunately. That would have been cool. So yeah, one minor complaint I have about posability-wise, so he's got some great posability in him, is that the whole kind of gauntlet up here moves. It's kind of a forearm swivel about halfway up the forearm, and there's no movement at the wrist itself. I would have liked to have seen these fused into place here, and maybe given him a joint here at the wrist, just to give him a little bit more range of motion, because like if he could have had the hinge, so he could tilt this way as well as the swivel, that would have been very nice. Because sometimes when you're trying to get him to hold the guns out straight, it doesn't quite fit, just due to the way the forearm's shaped. It's not the end of the world. He's still a very cool looking figure, but that's what I would have liked to have seen. Now the white paint is not perfect on mine, like 100% perfect, but it's white paint on black plastic, so it's not going to be probably on any of them. Very easy to touch up if you want, and I kind of dig the way it looks, because it's hard to explain, but it kind of feels more like it could be something on an organic creature's skin versus like a sharp paint app. I'll probably touch some of it up, but it really doesn't look too bad in person. It hasn't bothered me nearly as much. So the pistols himself he can hold in his hands. He doesn't have any place to store any of these, again, which is why it's a shame that the pistol is just molded on and isn't actually a holster. It would have been nice to have some place to holster some of these around his body, because he does have all these pouches and doohickeys on his belt. A very poor placement for this belt knife, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But you can, so he can only hold 2 guns in his hand, but you can actually plug these in, that one like that. You can kind of snap all these guns into these tentacles, so the symbiote can fire some of these guns for him, which is kind of cool. So there, now he's he can cover a couple things, and the symbiote can cover him in several other directions. So he's pretty much surrounded by protection when he's got the symbiote handle the guns, which is kind of cool. And again, the aforementioned, that belt, depending on how you have him standing, there are certain poses where you can see that belt knife really kind of hangs down in a not ideal position. It's just tucked there on the back of his... It's just a knife, not the belt, it's just a knife here on his belt, on the back of his thing. And I don't know why they couldn't have swapped maybe these off and had to sit over here, or maybe this pouch. Somebody's really wanting to chat me on Twitter. Pulled this pouch over and slid the knife over, because like I said, it's clearly a knife. It's not a big, when you have it in hand, it's not that big a deal, but when I was shooting some pictures earlier, I noticed that it really doesn't hang down in the most opportune of places the way they sculpted it. It's easily, like I said, a slight tilt to the side, and it's easily avoidable to have a nice display that, without that marring it, or even giving people a double take. So we can get him to stand here, but, well, oh no, we didn't quite get him solid enough footing there. There we go. But yeah, he's really, man, somebody really wants to chat with me on Twitter. But yeah, he's a really nice figure. He's a beautiful example. It's a wonderful sculpt. And it's a really nice representation of Flash Thompson as Venom. Again, Walgreens exclusive, of all places. Which is just weird to me. There's also a bunch of Star Wars figures that are apparently going to be exclusive there. And why Walgreens? It just seems a weird place to have exclusive action figures. But that's just the way it goes. But it's Agent Venom, it's Flash Thompson. I do recommend finding one of these things if you get the chance. If you have any interest in the character at all, this is a very excellent representation of it. And totally worth having on your shelf.